Welcome to the Quick Stop F1 podcast. My name is Nyasha, and you could have been, you know what? Let me look. My name is Nyasha, and I'm back. Don't piss me off, okay? People are like, where you been? Where you been? I was depressed. I don't know how else to put it. I don't know. Was it like, the really bad F1 season that we're having? Was it some personal issues? Who knows? Maybe they just came together like Voltron to form against my mental health. But nevertheless, I'm back. Welcome to the show. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. We appreciate that. Joining me today is the lady alongside Mario. They've been holding it down on the challenge. On the challenge channel. I'm still getting used to this. Welcome back to the show. Everyone's favorite Nepo baby, Tasha J.
Hi. I missed you. Hello. How are you?
I'm all right.
I'm seeing your face, I'm like, wow.
I know, right?
The man, the myth, the legend's right.
Oh man. Yeah, no, thank you. No, I missed you guys too. I was actually really looking forward. Me and Tandy haven't done a podcast together.
It's been 84 years.
I don't know, the last time me and Tandy did a podcast together. But she's not feeling well. So she's taking some time. I think, so get well soon to
Absolutely.
Tandy.
Get well soon.
The reason why this podcast is coming to you late is because I was at Carnival yesterday. For those who don't know what Notting Hill Carnival is, it is a 2-day celebration of Caribbean culture around the streets of London with live music and mass bands and all of those things, live sound systems. It's just like a celebration of music and culture and Caribbean history in the streets of London. It's incredible. Best day of the year. And if you want to know what it's like, I guess, those pictures and videos of Lewis enjoying himself, in Barbados, crop over. Imagine that, but me. So a man from Hertfordshire with the stiffest hips in the world shaking his ass down the road as he's walking.
Right.
To be fair, there's a lot of there's a lot of whining, obviously, in kind of Caribbean culture.
Yeah.
A lot of gyration and stuff like that. I don't participate in any of that. I'm still too shy.
What? Seriously?
I know. I'm too shy. Honestly, I've been to Carnival since I was 18.
Right.
I don't think I've danced with anyone once.
What?
Not once.
Come on. You gotta do it next year. You gotta do it next year.
That's a challenge.
That's a challenge next year. Come on.
All right. Okay.
How the music doesn't take over your body and you just don't start dancing.
But that's the thing, you see how stiff I am. I don't know if I would embarrass myself like that. I don't know if I want to do it.
We're going to do a month of Pilates leading up to it, so it'll be nice and limber beforehand. Right, yeah. But you got to do it at least once. Come on.
Okay.
Come on.
Well, we'll see. Maybe.
If I go to Carnival, I'm acting a fool. I just know for 100% fact. I can't listen to music without just something happens, so it's
Cool. If I'm there, I'm going to video it and send pictures to Chris. He's
going to be the one recording on the sideline.
Yeah, of course.
You're doing amazing, sweetie.
Well, look, it's not about me. It's clearly not about Tasha losing herself at Carnival. It's about you guys at home. Thank you for watching. Thank you for holding it down with these guys whilst we've not been here. And thank you for just sticking around. If you like what you're watching and what you're listening to, make sure to give us a like and a subscribe. If you're listening on Spotify, give us a 5-star review. We have over 500 Spotify reviews. That's incredible.
That's amazing.
You can also leave a podcast review on Apple. We'd love to. Right. I am reading them out, okay? Next week, I'm reading out some of the Apple Podcast feeds. Let's get some more on there because it really does help with the algorithm. And remember, there's an ad-free stream on the Patreon if you don't want to listen to adverts. Tasha,
Yes.
we had a race, the best race of the year by far, I think. Finally, we had like good rain. And what I mean by good rain is that changeable conditions, it's not good when a race is raining the whole time because there's hardly, you can't overtake very easily offline as proven, I think, towards the end of this race where it was quite hard once the race settled down for people to overtake if you're on similar pace. And it's like when the rain comes and people have to decide when to go into the pits, that period between dry and wet creates confusion, creates jeopardy. And also, again, that, you know, that period between dry and wet that happened at the end of the race. So we saw the race go from dry to wet to dry to wet again. And obviously then we had this the restart. Max Verstappen, 9 wins in a row. He has equaled Sebastian Vettel and Alberto Ascari's record of 9 wins in a row. How do you feel? How do you feel? Before we get into Max, did you enjoy the race?
I did, actually. I enjoyed it. I feel like, you know, leading up to this, we had, 3-4 races now where we've had rain. So I feel like I was a little bit burnt out on it. But to your point, like, it felt like it created so much jeopardy because it was just, like, a lap in, not even a lap in, we get like a downpour situation, then it stops and it starts. So it was interesting seeing everybody kind of scrambling, changing up the strategy. I felt like we got a lot more like chaos and it was just, I don't know. Yeah, it was fun. It was entertaining. So it definitely felt a lot different than the other rainy races that we've had this season. Yeah. Because to your point, like they kind of already are either it's already raining during those races or before they start. So it just gets a little boring.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's right. I think I always say you want rain to happen when the race has started and then for there to be different strategies and what people do. Right. And okay, we'll get on to Max in a bit, but I guess whilst we're here, we're talking about strategies and what we saw in the beginning of the race was Sergio Perez dive into the pits after lap 1. Yes. Or even at the end of the first lap, deciding, after that point, deciding, you know what, it's already wet. I'm going to come in. I'm going to gamble. And his pace was so much that a raft of people then decided to come in on lap 2. We then had a situation where there were people who ended up just trying to stay out through that rain. We had people who tried to stick out for a bit, but then ended up in no man's land and pitting, which I think, by my recollection, is that where Mercedes kind of found themselves.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, I think that's what happened.
So, you know, we have a situation where I think people think that, how do I put this? I think that people think that because as Mercedes fans, you know, we have been, or Lewis Hamilton fans, I know some people are Team LA.
Right, exactly.
So as Lewis Hamilton fans who are de facto Mercedes fans, Mercedes adjacent, I think people think that we're kind of prima donnas. We're very, let's say, hyperbolic about how we describe the team at the moment. You know, the team is, I can't remember if we're still second in the constructors or not, but
that's a great question. I don't remember.
Let's have a look. But we're third or second in the constructors championship, right? You know, we've had multiple podiums. Lewis has had multiple podiums. Yeah, we're still comfortably second, actually. We're 40 points ahead of Aston Martin. So, you know, we've had multiple podiums. The car is generally quick, even if it's not quick. But I think some people think that when we're complaining about the, let's say, organizational side of Mercedes, the operational part of the team. I think people think that we're being harsh on them, but would it be fair to say that as a team, what happened on Sunday seems to be the latest in a long list of operational errors by the team? Because I think it was clear after lap one of Perez's pace that they could have pitted both drivers. And I think especially the fact that Lewis was so low down, they had nothing to lose by taking.
And on mediums. So it's like,
oh my God!
Like, what was there to lose? I mean, he was already losing places at the start. So it's like, what would have been the difference if he pit and did inters? And I understand that they didn't want the situation to be like, they pit for inters, the track dries up within a few laps and they got to repit again. I get that. But, at a certain point, I guess for me, like with Mercedes, it just becomes like it's this pattern of like reactive like behavior. Yes. It's very reactive and not proactive. And I think that's the frustration is like, the car itself, yes, it's quick. There's been some progress, but then there's also others around us who are also making progress at the same time. And they have teams that are getting the strategy better and pit stops are better. So it's like these little margins that, are the difference between second or third in the constructors, Lewis being second in the driver championship or third, like these little margins, it just feels like we're not getting them right constantly. And I think that's where the frustration is building up because it's like, if the car is not the fastest, that's one thing, but it seems like it is improving, but now we're getting held back by strategy. And it's like, when do we start to course correct,
No, honestly, I forgot about the fact that they started the race on mediums.
Yeah.
With all of the data that you have. What in your mind did you think was going to happen? Putting someone onto medium tires with rain forecasting immediately. It doesn't make sense. And then on top of that, the decision not to pit Lewis. I mean, there's a clip going around of Toto kind of saying, that it was George who kind of insisted on not coming in. And they, you can hear Bono kind of say to Lewis, we're going to have to brave this out. Do you understand people's frustrations with Mercedes as I don't want to say there's a pattern, but there seems to be a clear couple of instances now where Lewis has not been listened to by the team to the detriment of the team. And
right.
It just, if you look at, the design direction that they went with the W14 after the failings of the W13, and then you're looking at this and, and other kind of pit errors that have happened or strategy errors that have happened. It's a strange relationship that it seems to me that it's strange that you have a team where they're fighting to keep him, but by all intents and purposes he's going to sign a new contract. You've got a guy that's won the most races of anyone ever. He's your most successful driver, and he's also someone who's got his finger on the pulse of a lot of things, and so. I just find it a bit strange that, again, there just seems to be this kind of ignoring of whatever Lewis kind of wants to do.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I agree wholeheartedly. It's that same thing of like, obviously George is starting, third on the race. So he's starting, he's starting high on the grid. So I get that he wants the priority for the pit stop. They ask him like, do you want to come in when it starts raining? He basically wants to stay out a lap or whatever. And, at that point, when he's made his decision, I do think that it's fair for Lewis to then be like, still insist and come in and get his inters. Because like we said, he's on mediums. It's rained quite a lot. The track is soaking wet. It's not like, it was just a drizzle or like a tiny little bit. It was soaking wet track. So I do feel like it was, just really short-sighted to not bring Lewis in. And then, now not only is Lewis toppling down to P20, at that point when they just do decide to bring him in, George also loses a shit ton of places also. So now we've basically taken out both of our drivers with one really like just I don't know, just like really kind of silly call. I mean, if it's just again, it's just I don't know, it's just like very frustrating because we see obviously everything on TV, so I don't know what they're seeing or not seeing on their screens or right in front of them, but you know, it does feel like, how do you guys not have more information than the viewers at home? You know, it starts to get like a little bit frustrating of like, then what are you making decisions based off of? Like vibes? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, it is though, isn't it? And it, you know, I think off air we were talking about Mercedes and their, you know, apparently they didn't have the data on Perez or something. And it's just like, I've said this so many times. These guys, they're too much. Head down.
Yeah.
Head down. They're not fucking head up, looking at what's around them, looking at
head on a swivel.
Like,
what are y'all doing?
What are you doing? What are you doing? They're so blinkered all the time. They were blinkered with the design philosophy. They've been blinkered in this race with their strategy.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous that you cannot physically see Sergio Perez weaving through traffic like do you mean? Like he's in GTA or something.
Right. Tokyo drifting down the track.
Do you mean? Like this guy looks like he's in a different formula. Yes. You can see it on the screen. What are you watching? In what world do we need to stay out 2 or 3 laps more than that guy? Like, there's no way.
Of all people,
even if we managed to stay out and brave it until the end of the race, the track was not dry enough. You can see it by the pace that the people on the intermediates had. There was no way. And I just like, you know what? I have to apologize to James Vowles because we used to blame him for so much. And he's gone Williams and the problems persist.
Still here, yes.
Awful.
Giving systemic, it's a systemic issue. I mean, trickles down everywhere. I mean, that's exactly it. Like, why are we sitting here making decisions based off of nothing and then being surprised when shit like this race happens and then saying, oh, guys, well, we learned a lot and, you know, we'll learn for next time. And it's like, you say this after every race. Like, what are you learning? What have we learned? We get the fist bump emoji after every race. Like, we'll get them next time. Like, no, the fuck we won't. We haven't. No. Like, no, we won't. Like, what is it going to actually take, you know? And then it's like, you have George, you have Lewis. You talked about this before on the podcast in the past. Like, you know, we have one of the best driver pairings on the grid. They really mask a lot of the issues with Mercedes' strategy. And it's like, Lewis had a great recovery drive. George, before he DNF'd, had a great recovery drive, you know, to make up for all of this strategy. But they shouldn't have had to do that, because if we had really gotten that switch to inters right, George probably would have stayed on podium. Lewis would have been higher up in points. So they're really like picking up slack for their team. And, you know, to George's kind of credit, like, you know, his strategy calls have worked a lot for him in the past. But this is George having to make his own strategies. You know what I'm saying? Like, against the team, because the team is clearly not in a position to make those split-second decisions. You know, it's like the second that there's like a variable thrown in, it feels like nobody knows what to do. Like that pizza meme where, you know, Donald Glover comes in the room and everything's on fire. That's what it feels like.
Yeah. No,
it's crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy. They want us dead. Clearly.
Oxygen tank is on E. Like, y'all need to cut it out. I'm about to cash out one
honestly,
of these days.
please. You're literally, I've just come back. Please don't inspire me back to the dark place. But look, let's talk about Max Verstappen.
Yeah.
But we can do that after you listen to a message from our sponsors. Right. Let's do it.
It sounds like I've seen an Oppenheimer. Nyasha letting off nukes.
What have I done?
Right.
So Max Verstappen has made history.
Mm-hmm.
He has won, equaled Fangio and Vettel's record of winning 9 races in a row that they participated in. He's having a record-breaking season. There's nothing to say that he won't win the remaining 9.
Right.
Which would mean, I think, 20 races that he may be able to win this year.
That's wild. Which
would be crazy. His numbers are getting ridiculous now.
Yeah.
He is, I think he's past Senna. I think soon he'll be past Prost.
Mm-hmm.
And then, by the end of the season, we could be looking at someone who's managed to get half of the amount of wins that Lewis Hamilton has had, which is crazy. And then, to think we've got potentially 3 more seasons of this.
Right.
Or 2 more seasons, 24 and 25. So, an interesting piece today come out in The Athletic, and congratulations to Luke Smith to be the latest F1 journalist to have his ass handed to him.
Twitter main character for the day.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, the goal is to not be the main character on Twitter for the day. And Luke Smith, unfortunately, made himself one by writing an article saying that we need to appreciate Verstappen's brilliance more following the victory at his home Grand Prix in the Netherlands. How do I? I will say something actually.
Yeah.
Let me say something. No. How's about that? Are you dumb? I don't appreciate your shit. I don't appreciate your shit.
Smoking the finest crack. I can't.
Look. If you have to keep telling me to appreciate something,
right,
I'm going to start feeling like that's something that needs to be appreciated. Is fugazi.
Right.
Okay? If you don't know what fugazi means, fugazi, it's a fake, it's a floozy, it's a... As Matthew McConaughey said in Wolf of Wall Street. Look, Max has absolutely optimized and made the most of a rocket ship of a car.
Yes.
And I think Sunday, I think he really, you were looking at the times he was taking out of Perez on the wet weather conditions. I think he was taking like 3-4 seconds out of Perez in the wet, which is insane.
Right.
That's talent. Also, Checo's not great, but that is, look, like...
2 things can be true.
2 things can be true. And I think that's the thing. 2 things can be true.
Yeah.
I think Max is a really quick driver. I think Max is one of the most... I think he's managed to get... I think he's really quick, and I think he's a great driver, and I think he will go down as one of the greatest drivers of all time, statistically. Because you can't argue, whether you want to... Numbers are numbers, okay? Now, will there always be asterisks next to the numbers? I think so, and I think that's what F1, for me, tries to kind of...
Sweep under the rug.
Sweep under the rug is a great way of putting it.
Yeah.
we're not stupid as fans. We inhale this sport.
Mm-hmm.
We watch. So I was saying to someone the other day, that they're like, they're like, how long's the race? And I was like, oh, it's like an hour and a half. They're like, oh, I thought it was like 6 hours. And do you know why they thought that?
Oh, because the whole weekend.
Because they were like, I watched the qualifying ones and it was like, and I was like, look, you got 3 hours because I watched the build up.
Right.
I watched the build up for an hour and a half. I watched an hour and a half race.
Yeah.
And then I watched the freaking analysis for an hour and a half.
Right.
That's on a race day. Then you've got qualifying. Then you've got the 3 practice sessions. Then you've got all the articles we consume. Then you've got all the old races we watch in our spare time because we're losers.
You're not wrong.
Like, do you know what I mean?
You're not wrong, yeah.
We inhale every last thing this sport has to offer. You cannot pull the wool over our eyes. We know how 2021 was won.
Yeah.
We know that the cost cap penalty was not harsh enough.
Right.
At the end of the day, if you go over the cost cap, there should be a penalty which is so harsh that it would not happen again. Now, look, some people would say whatever, right? Mm-hmm. This is my podcast, it's my opinion. This year, Red Bull have done a phenomenal job, and Max has done a great job of maximizing that. That's what I've been looking for. But I'm not seeing anything, to be honest, for me, which I think is brilliant. If you like, I'm not seeing.
I agree.
I'm not seeing. Now, look, you can talk about Hamilton all you like. I know some people will be like, we had 8 years of Hamilton. And the revisionism is scary. Let me go through it for you. 2014, inter-team battle went down to the last race. 2015, inter-team battle won early. That's fine. Rosberg had an absolute howler that season. 2016, went down to the last race. Inter-team battle. Multiple winners. 2017, Ferrari, quick enough to give a two-team battle. 2018, Ferrari, quick enough to give a two-team battle. Sebastian Vettel bottled it. That's not Lewis Hamilton's fault. 2019, fair. 2020, if you were there, you cannot tell me 2020 was a boring season. I'm seeing Lando Norris podium. Pierre Gasly, I think, won in 2020. Sergio Perez won in 2020. George Russell nearly won in a fucking Mercedes in his first time in 2020. There were Lewis Hamilton won on 3 tires. Like, the 2020 season is a ridiculously entertaining season, albeit with a predominant winner that was Lewis Hamilton. Now, if the 2023 season was 24 races and not like a shortened 16 because of COVID, Lewis might have won 9 races in a row. You never know. The only races Lewis didn't win in 2020 were because of a pit stop error in Monza, a pit lane error in Russia, and he had COVID in Bahrain. Other than that, he might well have won 9 in a row. But even then, I think Bottas won, I want to say 1 race that season. Russia. So, yeah, I don't know. I think I'm
more.
seeing a man maximize his car, and I respect him for that. I'm not seeing brilliance. I'm not going to lie to you. There has been some really good moments. I'll give him Monaco qualifying. I think that was ridiculous. Personally, I know a lot of people disagree with that, but I think it was ridiculous. I'll give him Sunday purely because I won't even give him Sunday because his own team. Anyway, look, I've gone. Oh, his own team sabotaged his teammates' race to put him in front. I mean, come on. Anyway, Tash, I've been ranting for so long. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. But I guess, what are your thoughts on the Max Verstappen brilliance versus rocket ship argument?
I feel the same as you, though. I feel like he's been great at, at staying focused, being consistent. I mean, you cannot take that away from him. He still has to drive the car, right? Like, at the end of the day, he still has to drive the car, get it across the line. He's doing that. I feel like, in terms of all of this, when you try to make it seem like this is all happening like in a vacuum where like the cost cap doesn't matter, 80-21 isn't a factor, the team being basically molded around him isn't a factor. You have him not getting penalized or even noted for stuff that other people get penalties for, 5-second penalties, grid drop, like nothing. He's getting nothing. All of this sport, all of his team is basically engineered for him to win. The least he can do is win. Therefore, for me, I am not seeing the brilliance because it's like it's all set up for him to be a winner. And he's doing that. So that's great. Yeah. But it's not entertaining for the rest of us. And then when you have the fact that he can't even battle with his own teammate, there's not even any like suspense or drama. Will he win? Won't he win? Like tit for tat. Like there's nothing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when people want to say like, oh, we're witnessing greatness, blah, 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 blah. It's like, okay, but that's against the backdrop of like his team, like low-key sabotaging Checo at times to prioritize Max in a race where he most likely would have won anyway. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't necessary. Running Gasly off the track, basically, and not even getting noted for that or a penalty for that. And you're in the fastest car. Why are you running Pierre Gasly in his Alpine off the track? It's just like, there's certain stuff about the way that this is all going that just feels like a fantasy, a fairy tale. And it's like, to me, I'm not buying it. Without all the other stuff happening, I think we would be having a different conversation. And then to the point you made earlier, it's like having to constantly be told, like, this is great. Aren't you enjoying it? Aren't you happy? Isn't this awesome? It's like, it's not, because you're not letting people naturally arrive to that conclusion. I'm like, are we on like some accelerated timeline that this needs to happen within like the next like 2 years? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just feels very rushed. It doesn't feel natural. Therefore, people have questions about it. And I think it's okay to entertain like the critique and the questions about it. But this every moment is like, things get shut down, that the conversations that need to happen get shut down or derailed because people don't want to actually like interrogate what they're seeing. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, when other people do, it becomes, oh, you're just hating. Oh, it's just because Hamilton's not winning. And honestly, like, I really look at what's happening at Mercedes. Like, that's a whole other separate issue. You know what I'm saying? Like, anybody else could win. Esti got a podium. I was so excited for him this year. Yeah. Other people get podiums. I'm excited for other drivers. I want to see them compete. There's no competition. Therefore, there's no excitement there. So yes and no. It's great for Max, but like for the rest of us, it's like, okay, well, what else is there?
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. And look, all of these people, journalists, obviously, Stefano Domenicali, all of these drivers. People, Sky, they're all sucking on the tea, okay?
Yes.
And it's like, which is why it's important to have independent content creators, right? And even independent content creators, some of them, not all of them, but some of them, are happy that things going like this because they weren't enjoying what was happening before, right? But, so they're sucking on it. So, I just think sometimes there's no one who's just there to say, cut the shit.
Right.
I'm sick and tired of this shit, bro. Yeah. I mean, it's just, honestly, this is not fun. Like, this is not fun. The fact that every race we're praying for a safety car, we're praying for rain, because if there isn't, the race is going to be boring as shit. And I'm just like, this sport. I don't know. Like, they're not going to step in and change anything this season. I get it.
Yeah.
We can't go on like this for another 2 years.
Yeah.
And
It's
just
not sustainable.
It's not sustainable, bro. This is not sustainable for another 2 years. And the thing is, the people who are upset with Mercedes winning every year for 8 years. Right, 24. Oh my God, they say 8 years. It's a fucking Constructors' Championship. Didn't even win the driver's title in 21. So, the people who say that are saying Mercedes winning the Constructors' Championship for 8 years in a row.
Right.
By the way, one of them, we didn't even win the title, so it doesn't make sense. You don't want that again, surely.
Right.
Like, I get it. That was bad. And they even said, the sport then was saying, this is bad. We can't have this. No dust. Change the regulations here. Change the regulations there.
Right.
New fucking rake regulations in 2021. They were trying everything possible to slow down that Mercedes.
Right.
If we get to the end of this season now, and we just go into next season happy-go-lucky with a cost cap restriction on the development teams can have, and Red Bull, who have done a phenomenal job, by the way. Well done to Red Bull, cheating aside, or infringements aside. Who knows? Okay, there's a lot of money in catering.
Right.
So, infringements aside, if F1 don't sort it, I'm actually just getting a bit pissed off. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
If F1 don't sort it out, if you're a Red Bull fan, if you're a Verstappen fan, if you're a Hamilton hater, fine, you can have your sport. I've been watching F1 since I was 6 years old. I watched it through the through the Schumacher domination years. I watched it through the Vettel domination years. I watched it through the Hamilton domination years. And I'm watching it through Red Bull. And let me tell you now, you don't want to let it get to 4 or 5 years. And the fucking viewership is dwindling. People get bored. People leave the sport. And the added scrutiny on F1 now, the bigger the sport is, the more people are coming into it. Why would someone want to pay all that money to go and watch a race that you already know who's going to win?
Right. For the midfield battles?
This jazzed up shit the sport is doing, everything that's going on. I just, honestly... Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, and that's my thing is, like, it doesn't make sense for somebody, especially like Stefano, to come out and say, you know, we need to appreciate what's happening or whatever. I think that's fine if that's his opinion, like in private, but I do think it's kind of odd for like the CEO of Formula One to be like, you know, why aren't you guys enjoying this? When the whole point of this like era of regulations is that we're supposed to see a closer field, not just for the midfield, but like wins. Like, you know, we were supposed to see different winners. Do you know what I'm saying?
Tasha, didn't know that there's loads of good midfield battles.
Lots of good finish.
Right?
From P1 down, from P2 down, it's great.
Yeah, from P2 down, it's fucking awesome, right? Like, what? You must not be a real Formula One fan.
Right. So that's my thing with the whole, like, you know, well, when Lewis did it, it was this, and like, but the difference is like when Lewis and Mercedes were dominating, we weren't promised that domination wasn't going to happen. That's what 2022 was supposed to be. Like, no domination, or like, you know, it would be thwarted. I remember, like, was it Ross Brawn said something along the lines of like, we would do stuff if one team or one driver was going away with it, we might make some changes. Nothing is happening, and they're also saying nothing is going to happen. So, we're trying to reconcile the fact of like, this is what you sold to us as what we're supposed to be expecting versus this is what the reality is. And then on top of that, you're telling us to appreciate it or like demanding or questioning, maybe something's wrong with us, because we're not reading the situation right. But it seems like we all have the information that they have and we have decided that no, actually, we're not enjoying it. Like, so I don't know. I also feel like with Max, I feel like there's a lot of people living vicariously through him. Do you know what I'm saying? So I do have to, I take Max with like a huge grain of salt because again, to your point earlier, like he's just doing what he needs to do. But you have a lot of people who like are using him as proxy to like push an agenda. And I just feel like that's what we're really seeing is like, it has really nothing to do with Max. And I, to a degree, almost feel sorry for him, because it's like, you're getting all these like empty titles, empty championships. This is going to be your career. You're letting these people basically make your career this like big, empty, hollow shell. Do you know what I'm saying? Like first championship, controversial. Second championship, controversial. Like I hate that for him. I do, because it's like you're taking somebody who's an athlete, who is talented, and you're making their career about stopping, you know what I'm saying, domination of somebody that you don't like. So I don't know, that it's been like, it's just one of those things where it's like you can either see it for like exactly what it is, or you can like dig a little deeper. I think there's some stuff going on in the background that needs to be sort of like, I don't know, addressed. But right now everybody's enjoying it apparently, so no one wants to talk about that. So the wool's over people's eyes. So I don't know.
Yeah, I love that. Right now everybody's enjoying it. So yeah, yeah. Look, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Honestly, again, just to bookend this.
Yeah.
Before we get called like fucking bitter black F1 fans.
At least be creative. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Let's try something new. Yeah.
Yeah, but before that, look, again, Max has done.
Yeah.
Really, Max has done nothing wrong, and I don't want to ever say that. In all honesty, as much as I don't take to Max's persona as a sports person,
mm-hmm.
I don't think any of the sports people that I really like are the Max Verstappen type of sports person. I think all the sports people that I like have a different type of personality to Max, and that's absolutely fine. I think Max's personality is his personality. I think he represents a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
In the same way Lewis Hamilton represents a lot of people. And I think, it's absolutely cool if you identify with Max and if you like Max and you think Max is a great driver, you think he's the greatest of all time, if you think he is the one. Hamilton, Vettel, well, sure, I can go back, but Prost, Senna, Schumacher, Vettel, I guess, Hamilton,
mm-hmm.
and now we're looking at Verstappen, and I think that's absolutely fine. And like I said, I think he's an electrically quick driver. I think he's easily,
mm-hmm.
I think he's top 3 drivers on the grid. I would love to see Lewis, Fernando, and Max in 3 cars that have a chance for wins, and I would love to see that.
That'd be crazy.
And I think for me, I would love to see Max under the pressure that he had in 21.
Yeah.
And let's see how mature he is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing a lot of he's so mature, doesn't let the pressure get to him. There's no pressure.
There's no pressure.
This guy is loving life. Everything's so easy. He doesn't even want a close bout. I prefer it when there's no, I just get
He just want to be on a Sunday drive. Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Sightseeing around the track, watching the TV as he passes by.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, I respect Verstappen, respect to his fans. Enjoy this. As a Hamilton fan, I will say this: enjoy it. Enjoy it as much as you can, because it's a special time supporting someone when they're doing incredible. Real talk, so it's got to stop. F1 fucking do something. Like, please, it's enough.
Exactly.
Right. Is there anything else in the race that I want to talk about? Should we just get it to stars and donkeys? Let's do stars and... No, actually, no.
Oh.
Before we get into that. Prayers for Daniel Ricciardo.
Wow.
Bro.
What kind of
how's your luck?
You have, bro? Wow.
How is your luck? I mean, yeah. I mean, Daniel Ricciardo has obviously crashed out in was it qualifying?
It was practice.
Practice?
Yes. Yeah, it was FP2.
Why are you laughing?
What?
Why are you laughing?
I'm not. It's not funny. It's not funny.
It's not funny. But... It's not funny.
I'm just like, what the hell? Like, it's Danny. Like, we didn't even think we'd see him on the grid, like, anymore after last season. So he's already, like, did the unthinkable, getting his seat back on the grid, and not even 2 races, but I guess this would be the 3rd race back. You have a freak accident. He didn't want to hit Oscar, who had already just crashed ahead of him on the corner. So he kind of made the decision to hit the wall, but yeah, broke his metacarpal. I learned what that bone is. I've never heard that word more since this weekend. So, but yeah, they were saying something like his fracture was not as clean as the fractures that Lance had on his wrist. So it maybe looks like it might take him a bit longer to heal. They were saying Japan maybe or Singapore at the earliest to see him back racing. But yeah, like that luck is just terrible.
Honestly, the mad thing is, like, I was actually watching the build-up at some point. Maybe I was watching practice. I can't remember. Oh, no. I was watching the fucking driver interviews, the press conference on a Thursday. Oh, my God, it's teacher, man. I was watching the press conference on a Thursday. It shows you just how much F1 I consume. I literally consume everything.
You are plugged into the Matrix. You're just like downloading all of it.
I was like, okay, I'm back. I need to what have I missed? And then he was saying that he was happy that he had a couple of races before the summer break. So he was able to get into a little bit of a rhythm, and then he was able to go away, assess the performances, see what he was doing well, and then he was able to come back. And then, he was and then he was ready to go for Zandvoort. And then
dang.
And then second race in. Wait. This is the first race after the summer break, isn't it? Yeah, Belgium. I'm so used to Belgium being the first race after the summer break, but it was before, wasn't it? So, just really bad luck. Really bad luck. Yeah. But well done to Liam Lawson.
Yeah.
Stepping in. No one was expecting anything in qualifying, and I think for him to be able to get into the points, but for him to finish the race in those conditions, and then
it was a wild first race.
Yeah, it's
with one practice, a quali. Like that's all he's had. One practice, a quali.
One practice, one quali, done.
Like, and he didn't even get a dry run, I think, in practice either. So
no. So honestly, well done to Liam Lawson. Finished ahead of Yuki. I do think Yuki had. I don't think Sky picked up. I actually just watched the race back before we started. And Yuki broke a little bit of his wing defending against George Russell.
Oh, I did see that. Yes.
Yeah. And the commentators just completely ignored it. I was like, pretty sure I've just seen a bit of his wing. And they're like, Tsunoda's flying backwards. Like, a bit of his wing's missing. So, Liam Lawson did finish ahead of Tsunoda, but I do think Tsunoda had damage. So, but nevertheless, got to keep it on track.
Absolutely.
Thoughts on? Sorry.
Bless you.
Thank you. But no, what I did want to talk about quickly before we get into started their dog here today. Thoughts on Charles Leclerc's performance this weekend?
Oh man. What? I don't know. I just don't know what happened to this man. Talk about bad luck. I mean, I think maybe Danny's suffering the same hex that maybe Charles Leclerc has put on him or something. I don't know. But yeah, he needs better prayer warriors. I don't know what the hell was going on with him. Yeah. I don't even have words. I just don't have words. It's not, I just feel like it's just bad, like luck. Like, I don't know if it's him trying to outdrive the car, and therefore he's making like more mistakes, but I really can't, I don't understand what's going on. Truly, I don't understand.
I'm going to tell you now, Tasha, quick sub F1 army. I'm trying out different like names.
Okay.
Next week will be like the Navy.
The Armada. No.
The Armada. Quick stop Familia.
Familia, yeah. That's good.
I don't quite like that.
Yeah. It's not bad. A little spice on it.
I'm not calling Charles Leclerc generational.
Yeah.
Until he gets to go like more than a quarter of a season without crashing his car. I'm sorry. No. Enough is enough.
Yeah.
Enough. Charles. You are not generational if you keep binning it. I don't care how bad your car is. In fact, your car, the worse it is, the more you need to keep it on the road.
Exactly.
Like, that is the whole point of having a bad car. That's why Carlos Sainz is up there battling for 4th, 5th, and you're bound down there. Look, I know he got damage. He got some damage that then went into the car, and that's why he was just going backwards. So I'll let him off. But binning it in qualifying, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I can't forgive. I've given this guy so many chances.
Yeah.
And I genuinely think at some point, I've never seen someone who's supposed to be generational crash on their own so much. It's impossible.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
You cannot crash your car that much.
Yeah.
And be thought of as a generational driver. Until you stop this shit, I'm not putting you up there, bro. Right. You've got to earn it. You've got to earn a generational tag. And at this moment in time, you are... honestly, I'm trying to think of someone who was so talented, yet crashed the car on their own. And I think I'm just... From now on, if someone spins on their own, I'm just going to say, like, they Leclerc'd it.
Yeah. Valid. Valid.
Any thoughts? Charles.
No thoughts on Charles Leclerc. Honestly, you saw him pull up his chair. Was it in quali where he pulled up the?
Yeah, I saw
he
that.
was just like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna sit here for the rest of the quali and watch."
That.
Same.
Even Logan. Like, are they not picking people up? You know what it is, shit. Like
the Uber surge, they were like, "Fuck, I'll wait it out."
Yeah, all the marshals are too busy, like just dancing to Tiesto and the DJ,
having a fucking conga line.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like the fucking whoever's on the scooter is supposed to put these guys up. It's just there, like, really good time, y'all. Like, you know what the fuck is? Logan Sargeant just sat there in the rain,
raining,
overalls unbuttoned. Helmet on. Logan Sargeant. He did not.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, you know what? I'll save that. Let's do stars and donkeys. Tasha,
Yay.
I will let you go first. I've got a
you.
£10 bet on with someone as to who you'll choose. So I don't, but I feel like I know who you'll choose. So
There's so many. Hold on. This is you on your Matrix shit. You're like, I already foresaw this prophecy. You knew who I was going to choose.
Who is your star of the day?
You know, Lewis Hamilton. I'm sorry. You add it to the compilation, like. Add it to the roll, like. Let me tell you, my guy went from P13 to P16 to P20, back up to what, P6?
Yeah,
barely. I don't know if you saw the photo finish between Lewis and Lando, but...
Oh, really? No, I didn't see that.
Barely won. Barely. He would have been P7 if, like, it was, like, another, like, little blink of the eye. So, yeah. I mean, you know, like I said, he's dealing with a lot. He's dealing with his own team just being so incompetent. 3.9 pit stop, 3.1 pit stop. Nobody knows what tires they want to put on the car. Like, it's just, you know...
Sick and tired of this shit, but my man always comes through.
Always comes through. Add some zeros to that contract. You know what I'm saying? Like,
add some zeros.
I want some motherfucking zeros.
Add some percentage points on that equity, yes. Bro. I need ownership.
Add it up. Yeah, that's my star of the day.
He's so good.
Yeah.
And you know what? Yeah. I think I'm actually appreciating him more.
Hmm.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I was so excited. I pressed the mute button. I appreciate it. My level of appreciation has become so much grander.
Yeah.
I don't want to say so much grander. But it's just seeing him in a bad car.
Yeah.
Maximize every race. You know what? This must be how Fernando Alonso fans felt this whole time. I get it now. I get it. I'm sorry. I used to clown my man. You know, on Twitter, and then people are like, can never be me.
And now it is.
I don't know. Now it's you.
Now we're right here. Yeah.
I see you.
Right.
You guys don't have to be racist to us anymore. We're one of the same. Okay? Okay, we're both maximizing our results.
Yeah.
I've got such an appreciation for him.
Yeah.
I think he is just fucking like every time you think this race is going to be bullshit.
Right.
He makes something
single-handedly saves it himself.
You know what? We didn't fucking talk about Mercedes. Fucking up qualifying again.
Oh.
How many times is this gonna happen? Both drivers. Guys, we don't have a rocket ship anymore.
It doesn't have to be like this.
You cannot just send your drivers out willy-nilly. Mm-hmm. It's costing us. If Lewis Hamilton was able to qualify higher, he might have got into the podium. If Lewis Hamilton was able to come in for pits on lap 1, probably would have got a podium.
Yeah.
If Lewis Hamilton had a competent team behind him and he had a car that was quick enough to challenge for a world driver's title, look, you can't guarantee that he'll win it because who knows what fuckeries they'll end up fucking doing this time round. But he is still an elite driver. And honestly, like if I didn't support Hamilton, I would struggle this. I mean, I guess, you know, everyone supports their own driver, right? Or some people are just, I'm so unbiased. I'm just here to watch the sport.
Right.
But the joy that watching him fight tooth and nail to the end, watching him absolutely harass Sainz.
Yeah.
in that last bit on the restart. And just give it everything he got, to the point where, like you said, I didn't even know that he nearly got overtaken. I think just shows that fight is still there in him. And I just pray that we have a car, even if it can't win the title, if we can just be in contention to win races. Like
I think if he can just compete, I just think that he just enjoys competition and competing. I mean, you know, I think that's for me the fun of it, is that he's not in an ideal situation. He easily can be as frustrated as we are, you know, by his own team and the situation that's happening. But like, he seems to just really be enjoying himself. So, you know, you cannot like beat somebody with a mentality like that feels like no matter what like happens, I'm just gonna just try, and whatever happens. Like, that's dangerous to me. So yes, with a marginally better car, with even marginally better like strategy, I think him and Max will be actually competing next year. And to your point, maybe they don't win it, but you know, I want to see a tussle. I don't care. Like, I want to see some like real like battles and competition next
season. And I think this is the thing. Like, again, going back to my point, when people are like, "Oh, you guys don't understand. There's great midfield battles," and like, that is great. Okay, right. That is great. But there's always been good midfield battles.
Right.
I don't watch F1 for a tight field spread.
Right.
Okay. No one watches the sport for a tight field spread. Okay? Guys, we watch the sport. 2021 was the greatest modern F1 season since, I want to say, and this is me potentially showing how old I am, although this was before I was born, but I think probably the most drama that F1 has seen since, I want to say, Prost Senna. Personally, and I was 1 year old, 2 years old when that, so obviously I wasn't watching. But in terms of having a title fight that transcended the sport, I had people in 2021 who never watched F1 asking me about F1.
Right.
And I was just like, what the fuck? Wait, yeah. It's fucking incredible. This is the best season I've ever fucking watched.
Right.
It was special. I can't believe you had this golden goose. Do you know how the mad thing is? Sorry, I'm not podded for fucking 5 weeks.
Right, you got some shit to say, yeah?
I'm just getting all right now. 2021. I hate talking about 2021 because I want to move on.
Yeah.
Personally. It caused a lot of pain. I think I've had beef with fucking... Did I tell you? You know what? Two seconds. I'm just going to wipe my nose and I'm going to tell a story. Fuck. Okay. How do I explain this? I'm not going to say anyone by name, but there was a channel that made a video about us criticizing us. Not criticizing us. They weren't happy with us because we are friends with other content creators that they don't like. So then I hot-headedly, we were mentioned in a video, and then I saw the video and I was like, well, you know that. I was like, do you know who we are? Like, respectfully.
Right.
We're Quickstop F1. Pretty big deal.
Just saying.
And then one of the counter arguments was that you're not still talking about Abu Dhabi 21. You're not. How do you describe it? You're not a frontline activist of injustice. And And
you're not throwing your body on the line enough for us, like of fire.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm and I get it. I get it. It was a fucking injustice.
Mm.
It was a fucking injustice. I don't like talking about it a lot because, one, Lewis has chosen to move on.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, genuinely, some people infantilize this guy to the point where he was a part of the decisions not to appeal. Mm-hmm. And then people blaming the team for that or Toto for that, I don't agree with. If Lewis had a hand in saying, I don't want to appeal, I want to move on.
Mm-hmm.
So I do want to move on. It caused me a lot of pain.
Yeah.
Look, there's videos of me.
No.
Pictures of me crying and cooking. Frying and crying. Okay? After Abu Dhabi. There's videos of me online.
Mm.
Physically upset.
Yeah.
About what happened. I want to move on for my own health. Because every time I talk about it, I get pissed off.
Right.
So, if you're wondering why I don't talk about it on every fucking episode, also, I can't just shoehorn Abu Dhabi into every fucking Lewis Hamilton related topic. Right. Guys, it doesn't make good podcasting. I'm here to present you an audio-visual product. I can't keep talking about something that happened 2 years ago when I'm talking about a fucking San Marino Grand Prix or some shit. It don't work. Anyway. The point I was going to make.
Right.
The point I was going to make was if they just let 2021 come to its rightful conclusion, which was under a safety car, the race would win. The race would end with Lewis Hamilton winning. Mm-hmm. Or bring the safety car in, let Max unlap the laps cars, and then let's see what happens. But there were still marshals on the track at that point, so they couldn't say anyway. If they just let it come to a natural conclusion, what they would have created with Max Verstappen, with the comeback from the setback leading to 2022, granted, there would have been a cost cap infringement, but at the time we didn't know that. That's a greater story to sell.
Absolutely.
Than basically being gifted your first title.
And it overshadowed everything.
Yeah. And then you've got the cost cap.
Yeah.
And
directly after that.
So not only do people not trust the sport anymore.
Right.
People don't trust your team. And that's your first 2 championships. Now we've got a fucking third season where your car is so fast that you don't even pit when people undercut you. That's the point I wanted to make earlier. Sorry, I didn't even know what original point I was trying to make. But the point I was trying to make earlier, the undercut that they did with Perez was so unnecessary. Right. I've seen this team at multiple races have like a 3-4 second lead, watch someone come into the pit and not even bother to pit Max because they're like, well, it's fine, we'll just get them later. Like, I've seen Max not challenge on the first lap after being overtaken because he knows within 2 or 3 laps, he could just overtake them with DRS.
Absolutely.
There was no need. And this is the thing. It is just like, at no point did I think the FIA and Mercedes and the press were working for Lewis Hamilton. That's how I feel about Max Verstappen.
Yeah.
That absolutely. And again, this is not on Max as a person. So if you support Max Verstappen, you watch this podcast, fair play to you.
Hi.
Hi. I don't know why. I don't mind if you are. I don't mind if you are. But look, we are Lewis Hamilton fans. it and we talk through Lewis Hamilton lens, and I know for a lot of people that pisses people off. Honestly, couldn't give a shit. But I'm just saying, I don't think at any point have I ever felt since the Schumacher era that everything was just. And you know what? British press, the British bias that you lot say is anti-Max is anti-fucking Lewis.
Right.
Like, look, anyway, let me not get into it. I'm getting time warnings. From
Right.
So, I haven't done this for fucking 5 weeks. I don't know what I'm doing.
Let him cook, Chris. Let him cook.
I'm spilling everything. My star of the day. Oh, man. I didn't want to do it. I know Tommy's going to hate me. I have to. You know what? Okay, I'm not going to give him side of the day. I'm going to acknowledge Fernando Alonso's performance. I think.
That's a good one.
I hate this trademarked wily old fox thing that's going on Sky Sports. Like, I have heard, okay, he's a wily old fox. Right. He's opportunistic. I get it. Never seems to be opportunistic when Max is in front, though.
Right. Selective. It's selective, yeah.
Everyone else want to take an opportunity here. I want to go for it here. Right. Max Verstappen's in front. Oh, no, not today. I'm happy with the second.
Right.
But no, he did really well. And I'm, again, man, real recognize real. I don't like him as a person. I think he's an absolutely duplicitous snake. But as an F1 driver, I can't help but admire the fact that he's the oldest guy in the grid by 4 years, and he's still so fucking good.
Yeah,
I think that's incredible. But I'm sorry, after you.
No, I was gonna just add to that. I was like, he reminds me of the old dudes when I would play tennis at the court. The best players were always in like their 60s. You're young, so you think you could just do whatever. Like, they got everything, the drop shots, the slice, like you're not gonna outmaneuver them or outthink them. So yeah, that's kind of how Alonso reminds me. It was just like that old OG at the tennis court who's like, you think because he got bad knees, you're gonna beat him, but no.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. I'm gonna need tennis lessons when I come out to America. Like,
absolutely. I'll actually add you to my client roster. I got teaching Christopher for the past 10 years. Yeah, how to play. So yeah, he's good, not bad, but yeah.
Yeah, he could be better, but that's fine.
Exactly.
My aim is to at one point maybe get a couple of points against you guys, and then we'll
okay.
From there.
Yeah. Okay.
Not from unforced errors. Right.
You want to hit a winner and got it.
I want to win it, but Chris has put some respect on his slice.
He does with his little Federer slice. He does have. I didn't teach him that. I don't know where. Look,
you can't.
The student is out learning the master. Yeah. Yeah.
But what I will say, I think my side of the day. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Gasly. You know what?
Yeah.
He did really well. I don't understand. Speeding in the pit lane. Guys, what's going on? Just press your little button and slow down.
I don't understand it either. And it's always by 0.1 kilometer or something. What is... Guys, I'd rather be under than,
Just stop being greedy. Whatever you're trying to save is not worth the 5 seconds you're going to lose.
Right.
It's just not worth it. But I think, you know what? I think a deserved podium. I think, obviously, he got lucky with Perez's 5 seconds, but also he had a 5 second himself. So without that 5 second penalty, he's ahead of Perez anyway. Yeah. Who knows whether Perez would have eventually ended up overtaking him? But he didn't have the pace to eke out that gap. So
yeah.
I think great. I think a good result for him. Obviously, Esti Besti getting the podium at Monaco. Kind of, put him in the shade a little bit. He's had a difficult start to the year. has to justify his move to fucking Alpine. But I think
Right.
I think for him, I think I was really happy for him just to get that podium, and I think he deserved it. And yeah, I think that was good.
He did what he had to do, and I feel like, with the season Alpine has been having in general, like I feel like hopefully that lifted the spirits a little bit, because the last 2 employees left at the Alpine factory, so bring home a trophy, raise the spirits. Yeah.
I just received word actually that he didn't have the right settings. I did actually read that. No, I saw it on the on the race stream. They were saying that there's a setting that you have to have for wet tires, but then I'm assuming that's a setting that he has to put on himself. So
yeah, it's his fault either way.
So maybe kind of like the Lewis brake magic thing. It's like, I get it, it's a mistake, but that's still your fault.
Right.
Oh, brake magic. Also shout out Alex Albon. Where did he finish? I sent a tweet out during the race. Huh?
I think P8 from P6.
Was it P8? Let's have a look.
I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna let me have a check. Dutch GP results. Yes, it was P8. I mean, honestly, I think he's that guy. I do
too.
I think he's that guy. I think he's. I hope he doesn't. It sounds really bad. I hope he never goes to a top team.
Ever?
Ever.
Like ever?
Ever? I honestly, I hope he. I kind of hope he has the career Sergio Perez had before Sergio Perez went to Red Bull. And the reason I say that is this. One, he's already been in a top team. It didn't work. I just think that the talents that he's showcasing at the moment are very top of the midfield style things. And I think that, look, of course, everyone wants to win an F1 World Championship, but I do think that some people genuinely are born. Some people need to be the main guy. And they need to feel that love and responsibility within a team. And I want Alex Albon. If Alex Albon goes to Mercedes, Ferrari, or Red Bull, he'll never be the top guy.
Right.
I think even if Hamilton left and they recruited Albon, I still don't think he'd be the top. The top one guy. It'd always be a split between him and Russell. And I just think that there's something to be said about people who maximize results in lesser teams. And I think the story of bringing Williams back into that top midfield thing, I think he's thriving there. And I always see people who are thriving in lower teams and then they go to bigger teams and it doesn't work out. And I just don't want that for him.
I can see that.
And like Chris said, Helmer's already said he's had his chance. He's not going to come back. And I just think, for me, these results, the same way Perez was getting at Racing Point when he was getting podium after podium whenever, that's what I want from him. I want him that whenever there's a race that is a madness, he's the guy getting third. Right. He's the guy getting second. He's the one picking up an unlikely race win. And maybe that's not the upper echelon of F1, but I think for me, seeing him build a team like Williams back up is a better story and probably a longer career for him.
Yes.
Than jumping into a top team in like the next 2 or 3 seasons. For me.
Absolutely. And I feel like he probably would agree with you. I think if anything, I think needs to be some sort of like cultural fit. I mean, Alex has also said like he doesn't want to go back to Red Bull. So I mean, I think it's like that's like a two-way sort of street right there. But to your point, like to rebuild, be one of the drivers responsible for helping rebuild Williams. You know, whether they're like a top team again in the future or like you said, like the top of the, you know, best of the rest sort of thing. I just feel like to be that guy partly responsible for that is just much more satisfying and gratifying, because where were they before he actually was on the team? You know what I'm saying? Like kind of nowhere land. So his presence is obviously making a huge impact right now. And I think also it's like about timing. I won't say I never want to see him at a top team. But like right now, I think he's really good where he's at. I think he should stay there, build that relationship out, you know, and, you know, survive, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day. Also, it's just like, you know, what's the point of switching teams when you don't really need to? You know, what other team right now is going to be worth the switch? And there's not many seats that are going to be open that are going to be worth it anyway. So, you know, stay where you're appreciated.
Stay where you're appreciated. Okay, donkey. Do you have a donkey today?
Absolutely. We talked about this ad nauseum earlier, but yes, Mercedes, AMG Petronas F1 team. Not a fan right now. What is that quote from How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days? Was I love you, but I don't like you right now. That type of like, that's the vibe. I'm not feeling it. Like, I'm not feeling the culture of like no blame culture. Like, somebody is to blame. Like, I want to start seeing somebody get blamed for this shit. Okay, like, oh
my god, this is what I always say. End it. No, someone needs to get blamed somewhere.
Yeah, somebody.
Like, whose fault is it, bro? Like, so it's got to be someone's fault.
Yeah.
Like, this shit was all good when we were winning.
Exactly. It's fine when you're winning, but when you're not on the up. Like, we need to start making some, you know, changes. Like, and I'm not saying people need to get fired, but I'm just saying, like, are we analyzing people's performances every race weekend, like, to see if they should stay where they're at and still be in positions to make decisions? Like, that's kind of what I mean. Like, I don't think it needs to be like everybody's head is on the chopping block, but it's only going to get worse from here if we're not adapting to the situation that's happening, which is like, we're not a top team, you know? We're top team adjacent, you know what I'm saying? Like,
top team adjacent.
So let's start making some better choices, you know? Let's make some better decisions. Like, the pit stop training. I don't know what we were doing over the breaks, but, you know, I got a whistle. I can come and like do some drills with people. Like, like what do y'all need? Call me. Like, I got you, because it's not cute. Like, we're getting to the point now where it's just sort of like, these are like amateurish mistakes and decisions being made, and I don't understand that.
Yeah. I just don't understand.
Me either.
No, do you know what it is? I was saying this shit in our first year of podcasting in 2021. I was saying this shit cannot fly, bro.
Yeah.
There are mistakes happening. The pits aren't good enough. The strategy's not good enough. Like, this is not good enough. And it's just been exacerbated by the bad car. And I can't deal with that shit, bro.
Me either.
Had
enough.
I've had enough.
Yeah.
My donkey today is my donkey today is Logan Sargeant, bro. I'm sorry. Bro, you're in Q3 for the first fucking time. Act like you've been here before, bro. No one you fucking take. Oh,
can't take your ass anywhere. Yeah,
don't take your ass anywhere, bro. You take your. Do you know what I mean? Take your guy. Bring your guy to a house party. Oh, this is my boy. He's there. Do you know what I mean? Acting an idiot. Getting too drunk.
Damn fool.
Acting like, bro, you're scaring the host. Respectfully. I'm just like,
They didn't even finish. The commentators didn't even finish saying this is his first Q3 appearance before the man hit a wall. Like they weren't even finished like giving him props for making it to his first Q3 session.
Honestly,
and man's in a wall.
Crashing in qualifying.
Ay.
You crashing in. Actually, to be fair, I feel bad. Have they said it's a break by wire? Someone said that he might have done his.
Oh, yeah, I think there was like a. Yeah, I do think there was a mechanical issue. Yeah.
I feel bad, but Logie, baby, I take it back.
Yeah.
I didn't mean it. Baby. I'm sorry. You know how I get when I'm mad. I'm sorry. Oh shit. But no, stop crashing in qualifying. Look, Charles Leclerc as well, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who else. That's it. I can't think of anyone that I could say Sergio Perez. What do we do about Sergio Perez?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know.
The last podcast that I did
4 years ago.
Yeah.
In 1993, last time we heard from this man.
It's been 84 years.
Time is slipping away from me.
I get it. It's been a while.
It's been a long time. Yeah.
Should have left you. Oh, man. I was sad, okay? Let me live. So
you got that UK vitamin D deficiency.
Yeah, okay? It's been the worst summer on British records, okay? I don't know what you want me to do. Stuck in the house all day. So, I can't remember what we're talking about.
What were we talking about?
I don't even know. Okay, look, who cares? Talking point from Chris. Lando. Oh, my donkey. Yeah, no. I feel sorry for Logan Sargeant. Oh, Sergio Perez. What did we do about Sergio Perez?
Yes, that's what it was.
Quickly, the last time I was on this podcast, I think it was with Cameron, and we're talking about, Cameron, bro, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not posting anything on Instagram for like a month. This Sergio Perez video is going triple platinum. But Cameron was insistent that it's nothing to do with the car. They've got the same car. And I'm inclined to believe. I think I believe that myself. I don't think they've got. I don't think they have an A spec car and a B spec car. Because I just think it's very hard to hide that. And then if Sergio knows about that, then that's a whole level of cuck that I don't even really want to get into. But, whatever. But qualifying 1.3 seconds of your teammate is crazy.
Atrocious.
Like, that's a madness, bro. The rate that Max was catching him was, and you know what? One thing I will give Max, even when they showed him on camera, I was like, oh, this guy's going very fast. Oh my God. He's visibly very fucking quick right now. I don't know, like, is Sergio Perez that bad? Is he that bad? I don't know. Like,
I don't know. I don't know if he's that bad, or I still really feel like a lot of it, there's a lot of factors, but I think the main one is just like mentally, he's not there. Like the summer break clearly didn't give him, he didn't come back refreshed or anything like that. Like, I think there's a little bit of the fact that he knows that it's not really going to be fair against Max. I mean, like we talked about, he got undercut by his own team, like when he was leading the race. Like, at the end of the day, it's like, I don't know if these are lies. He tells himself that it's all fair and that we're all, getting treated equally here, but he's not. So I don't know if that weighs on him. And, as a result, he has like these bad, weird, awkward performances. And it just like starts to compound on top of each other, because it's week in and week out. We're seeing him have this. Like there has not been one race where he has pulled it together really. I think the last race where he got the podium. Yeah. But that's it. So... Or no, was he even on podium? Am I misremembering that?
Wait, when? Today? No, yesterday.
Last
Sunday.
Belgium? Where did we end before break?
It was Belgium. Let's look at the... I think he was. Belgium.
I have one brain cell that is not activated right now.
I'm pretty sure he was because
activated.
I think he was winning. And then... Yeah, he was second. Because that's the thing. He was winning... And then Verstappen won by 22.3 seconds.
Right.
Shit's crazy.
Right.
What can you do?
Right. It's up to God now. I don't know.
It'll be interesting to see. Helmut is doing that thing where he won't confirm him for next year.
Yeah.
Which is weird. So, I don't know. It makes me feel like they're considering Ricciardo, but then he just broke his wrist, so,
And there goes that plan, so, no.
So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. No fucking Red Bull. They'll... Liam Lawson will have like 2 good races. They'll be like, okay, cool, we're going to put him next to Verstappen.
Right. You ready, kid? Yeah.
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 Right. Let's look at some of the tweets from everyone.
Oh, yes.
And my first one is from Tasha. I love that you still comment on these things.
I know.
Don't work for us.
Everybody in the comments was like, she doesn't even go here. Yeah, I know. I love it.
People are still there. I love that people like reply to you as well.
Right.
Like I feel like you're probably like the most accessible one out of all of us now.
Right. And I'm on a different time zone too, so it's like you guys got one. Yeah. So it's like 24-hour quick stop. Like you can reach one of us. Somebody's available.
Yeah. Someone's gonna be there for you. Right. Let me. There is this one here from Silky who says, I'm going for a very unpopular opinion, but I don't think Merc's strategy team did that bad. Mostly starting on mediums was not good, but staying out could have worked, as it did for Albon. Second rain pit stop was great. If you look at the starting grid versus results, I think only Alpine got it right with all the stops. They managed to make big jumps with both drivers. Maybe I'm too positive, but out of all the weekends, they do odd stuff. With this weather, I don't think this was that awful. I'm just kind of done hashing it over and over again. Live, laugh, laugh. You know what stage she's in? Acceptance.
What? Right. I'm in the anchor part. So I'm far behind.
Yeah, you know what? And that's good, Silky, because, you are in a better place than us. We're still in anchor.
We're bargaining a little bit.
Yeah. Like... Just give me something better. I'll take anything better. Honestly, I get it. But But
this would have been me like the earlier part of the season, like still kind of, glass half whatever, something. But I think it's like I said, it's just because it's becoming repeated that now I feel like it's like a bottle just getting shaken. You know what I'm saying? It's like
I think it's fine once. Mm-hmm. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And I'm just, fool me fucking 50 fucking times. I'm a dickhead. Like, what do you want me to say?
Right.
Right. Do you have a star on Donkey?
Yeah, I liked Rita's tweet. So she says her star is Lewis Hamilton, Donkey, Mercedes, the whole lot, strat team, pit crew, social media team. Damn, why are they catching straight? She said everybody. But she said, they need a serious regroup. And then her talking point was, it's time to stop blaming Red Bull for not respecting Perez. Even I can't respect him. Happy for Gasly. He hasn't been having this year, so great for him. She said, even I can't respect him.
Tell us how you really feel, Rhea. Fucking hell. Rhea. Jesus H. Christ. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna go with... You know what, let's just fucking rain it on Sergio. Star of the day, as this is from Moeed. Star of the day, Gasly, amazing pace from him, faster than science. Dog of the day, Sergio Perez, this guy's a clown. He had a 30... When you laugh, it makes me laugh. This guy's a clown. He had a 13-second lead and lost it all within about 10 laps. He cannot complain about favoritism when he's this bad. I don't know. Honestly, I can't defend him. He's literally, he's just not great. He's not great.
Yeah, there's nothing left to say. I mean, what else is there to say? Like, what was this, round 14? We're gonna have this conversation next week. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah,
honestly.
And the week after that,
and the week after that. Do you have any more?
Yeah, Benjamin Rose. His star was Gasly. His donkey Sargeant set American F1 drivers back a decade today. Bro, not a decade. Wow. And then his talking point, what we've been saying, Merc engineers, strategy, and pit crews need to be overhauled. It's not 2020 anymore. Lewis has done, Lewis has done work covering up their massive inadequacies with his driving on track, but can't hide it anymore. So, yeah. Agreed.
Yeah. You know what? Quickly, I'm just going to add in Nilly at Nilly Vanilli F1. Start of the day, Lewis's fucking race day outfit. Holy shit!
Yeah. The Rick Owens silk.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Yeah. He ate that.
Look!
He ate that. Yeah.
Let me tell you. I always say to my boys, don't pause me or no homo me, okay? Genuinely, I think that is actually worse than anything I've said. Because why are you initially assuming that, you know what I mean? Right. All I'm saying, Lewis Hamilton, respectfully, is so fucking handsome. It's ridiculous.
I
cannot believe it. I was actually like, you know what? I don't give a fuck. He is actually so handsome, I might call him fine.
He's fine as man. Yeah.
Last time I called another man fine. He is fine as fuck. I just, honestly, like the tattoos with the glasses and the shit. That might be my favorite.
Yeah.
For a minute, I'm trying to think of my favorites before that.
For me, it's the red Jacques Mousse, the monochrome red suit with the that leather sort of detail across the front.
Yeah, the red one, right? When he had the red t-shirt underneath, and that was really good. That was good. That was actually the one I was trying to think of. Between that, I loved Miami last year.
Oh yeah, with the leather. Was it was it vegan leather?
Oh, I hope so. Yeah.
Okay.
Hope he wasn't wearing a cow on him. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah,
this is what cracks me up about his outfits, though, because sometimes I look at him like, did you guys check the weather before you plan these fits, or you were just like, fuck it, don't matter what the weather is, I'm getting these fits off. Yeah. Because it was raining.
Actually, no.
He's got a full silk outfit on.
quickly before I is Timberland's hate anti-black?
Ooh. Okay, I don't want to say that, but I think if you don't know where the reference, because like I think a lot of people were really confused with like his Tommy fit for like what's it, Friday?
Yeah.
The wind, basically the windbreaker with like the Tims, like that's any dude in Brooklyn on any day of the week. You know what I'm saying? So he's like pulling references from like the US a lot. And I think some people don't really know that. And they think it's just like weird mismatched clothes, which I mean, like, to be fair, but dudes in New York put Tims with anything. Like, it's just, that's just what happens. So yeah, it can border on anti-blackness if, you know, if you take it there with your if you don't like it, you don't like it. But I think if you start being like weird about your comments and, you know.
Yeah.
I hate the lugs personally. The ones that he wore actually with this Rick Owens outfit.
Yeah.
I want him to wear the boot. I want him to wear the platform boot so bad.
Yeah.
I know it'll be like.
I like the platform boot.
I want him to get on his Prince thing. You know what I mean? Like where Prince could wear anything.
Heels.
Like,
let's just go. Platform heels. Let's just fucking go.
Put a little heel on. Give the girl heel. Like.
I'd love to see Lewis Hamilton in like a kitten heel. Fuck it.
Because first of all, that would be amazing. He needs to, okay? Like, we need a different silhittle.
Do you know what I mean?
Retire the lugs.
No,
put on the heel. Like, it's
little
time.
pussycat wig.
It's time. little blowout, you know?
Yeah,
like,
do you know what I mean?
Tap in.
Maybe perm that hair. Let's just see Lewis Hamilton.
No, because he did that before, and we don't need to go back on that road.
Actually, yeah. No, yeah. Someone was like, bring back the blonde. I'm like, no, keep that.
No.
I don't need like the the Parisian black man. Respectfully.
Louis Targaryen, we don't need that. Yeah.
No,
we're good.
Okay, well, look, guys, thank you. I want to say thank you so much to everyone who sent me messages. I replied to none of you. So I replied to none of you because, I'm joking about it, but it was a bit of a difficult time earlier in the month. And it's still kind of up and down. But doing this today has been the most wonderful experience. I really missed doing this. I missed interacting with you guys on race day. I was so happy to do that again. Why do I always have to miss all the cool shit? I understand every time I leave an F1 screen, something good happens. But it was really cool. And it was really lovely, really humbling from everyone to receive all your messages. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. It made me very emotional to get those messages. And I can't wait to do loads of really cool shit with you guys in the future and going forward. And thank you, Tasha, for being an amazing guest. Thank you to you and Mario.
Thank you for having me.
I can't describe how much I'm grateful for you guys. So you know what? For you and Mario, round of applause. And also, Chris, I cannot say anything without saying thank you to Chris. You guys are like, I'm seeing the comments. Wow, the editing is so cool. I do none of that. Nothing to do with me. Right. You've seen the step up in levels since I stopped editing. It's been clear. Thank you so much, Chris, for just being there as a brother and someone that I can count on for all these things. So cool. Enough of that soppy shit. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, like and subscribe to the video. Spotify 5-star review, Apple Podcast review, Patreon's there if you do not want to listen to adverts. We'll be back. You guys are going to be back on Saturday. We'll be back.
See you guys Saturday.
You know what though, Tasha? Quickly, I know this might be the longest episode we've ever done, but I just had some shit off my chest. Tasha,
yes.
For those who don't know, describe yours and Mario's Saturday show.
Yeah, so Saturday, normally on a race week, we're doing post-quali, plus we're doing a little bit of like whatever's been in the news. Thursday, we tend to, get a few extra stories than usual. So we just kind of go over whatever's, in the news, and then we do a rundown of quali, plus we do predictions at the end. Just, trying to have a little bit of fun and try to guess a little bit. This trashed my predictions. We were definitely not counting on Gasly to be up there. So that'll be fun to kind of talk with Mario on Saturday about. But yeah, that's kind of Saturday. And then when we are on like an off week or a bye week, we just kind of, do like in case you miss it. There's so many stories in F1 happening at all times. So yeah, it's just kind of fun to do a little bit of rundown and just have a conversation with Mario. He's a lot of fun because he asked me a lot of like off the wall, craziest, world's craziest questions. Like I don't ever know what he's about to say to me. I'll answer a question and he'll be like, no, actually this caveat or something. I don't know. I'm just like, okay, you're making my brain cells work like over time, but it's fun. So yeah, we enjoy Saturdays.
I would really highly recommend going back if you haven't. Go back and watch their award show.
Oh, yeah.
Which you guys voted for on Twitter. I think it was genuinely one of my favorite Quick Stop episodes ever.
Oh, thank you.
I think you guys smashed it. So yeah, I would highly recommend going and watch
join
it.
us.
And,
if you like giggling with me, along with me, Saturday, 45-minute long giggle session. So yeah, it's fun.
Go for it. Well, look, thank you to you two. Thank you to Chris. Thank you to you guys at home. These guys will be back on Saturday. I will be back, hopefully, with the first podcast me and Tandy will do together in like 2 fucking months, which I'm really excited for.
Highly anticipated.
And we all get to celebrate Max Verstappen breaking the record. Yay! Woo! What's the appropriate sound effect from that? Let's get the clapping. That's as much as I'm going to give.
That's very kind of you.
Yeah, right? So until then, guys, no matter what life throws at you, and trust me for someone who knows, keep it on the black stuff. Take care. Toodle pip. I love you. Bye.
Bye.
Look, mate, if you've got this far, clearly you like what we do. So here's a link to subscribe to the Quick Stop F1 family. Give that a click. And here's another link to some more cool on our channel. Sorry, cool stuff. And remember, no matter what happens, keep it on the black stuff. Click the stuff. Click the links. Click the links. Click the links. There. They're there.